Because I got some opinions on that.
Ah, good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope everybody is doing amazing. Listen, if you're watching the news in any shape, form, or fashion, then you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that people are leaving their jobs. And they're calling it, are they calling it the Great Migration?
What is it? The Great
The
Resignation.
Great Resignation.
They running like that, coach. They just running on the way.
And to be honest about it, you might ask yourself, well, why are people quitting their jobs?
Hmm.
People have figured. First of all, COVID gave people a taste of freedom.
Absolutely.
COVID showed people that you don't need to be in that workplace for 8 or 9 hours to get 8 or 9 hours worth of work done.
That's absolutely right. You don't have to do and not just the taste of freedom. Well, the taste of freedom, but it showed them that there are other alternatives that you can still make money, but you don't have to be sitting in somebody else's workplace, them standing over your shoulder, them
Well,
saying,
let's talk about that too. I think we got about three or four. Let's slow down, Rose. I think
okay,
we got about three or four different things. I think people got sick of their boss trying to stand over their shoulder during COVID,
breathing down their neck,
breathing down their neck on Zoom.
showing them, trying to share them cooties through the computer
Ah,
screen.
and people was talking about how their jobs, good morning, guys, good morning, made them just stay logged in just so they could count their time, which is ridiculous. If I can't trust you, okay, good morning, Fatima. If I can't trust you, then why am I working for you? So people started saying, what we've always said, it's ridiculous for a grown person to have to ask to go to the bathroom. It's ridiculous for a grown person to have to ask for time off that they've accumulated. Then you got all these blackouts. I can't take off in the holidays. I can't take off. So what good is the time off if I can't take off when I want to? So I think people said, before I go up in here and start and continue to beat myself up for these few dollars, I'll figure it out on my own. And so people are quitting. People are just fed. People, do you know how fed up you have to be in order to quit your job and you don't really have another plan?
And you have bills because they don't stop.
The bills don't stop for nobody.
They don't stop.
Good morning, Alicia. Good morning, morning. Thanks for sharing. And so people are saying, let me just figure it out. So do I advocate that? I don't, because it's a lot harder than it looks.
Absolutely, it is.
And if you don't do it the right way, you'll be back.
That's right.
And that's why you want to quit playing. Schedule a call at bit.ly/Black Girl Profits Call. And let's talk about not just a short-term departure, but a permanent breakup. When I left my job, good morning, Vicky, I didn't look back. And I want everybody to have a plan so that when you leave, you can leave for good. And leave them jobs right where they are. So number one, let's talk about this taste of freedom. It really ain't nothing like working when you want to work.
Say that again for the folks that's way in the back.
Seats.
In the cheap seats. Not the cheap seats.
The nosebleed.
The
nosebleed. For the people watching the teleprompter.
Yes. It's nothing like it.
If you're an early bird, you get up in the morning, you get your work done, you get it out the way.
You go do what you want to do.
If you're a night owl, you sleep late, you get up, you get your work done, you get it out the way.
That's right.
If you're an omni owl and today you want to get up early and tomorrow you want to get up late, you can do that. This is the question I have for everybody. What would happen if you dedicated the same, let's say 50 hours, because you got to get dressed and you got to commute to work. I don't care who you are. Right? Lisa said you must make a plan to leave your job. Did it, done it, been free for 3 years. You must have a plan.
Absolutely.
I don't care what your
And then,
neighbor next door to you, your cubicle buddies say. If you don't have some type of plan and a habit of working for yourself, chances are you might be right back. So no, you definitely must have a plan. But the thing about it is between your commute time, your get dressed time, your clocked in time. Can you imagine what would happen and how much money you would make if you have a plan and you dedicated that same 50 hours a week to your business, to your brand, to your ideas, to your next level, to your abundance? Can you imagine? So the problem is, let's talk about the problem, y'all. We got to be honest now. They said that the truth will set you free, but you got to acknowledge the lie first.
there you go.
The truth is that the majority of people don't spend that same time, even once they leave a job.
That's true. That's very true.
Talk about it, Rose.
It's very true because I left my job. Actually, my second year anniversary was on the 20th of December. I've been free for 2 years now. Now, when you are used to a certain structure, you all of a sudden jump out that structure. Yeah, it sounds good to leave your job. It sounds good to retire. And it does feel good. Don't get me wrong now. Freedom is sweet. But what do you do with your freedom once you get it? Because, see, you can sleep till you get tired of sleeping. You can ride around till you get tired of riding around. But after a while, you get tired of that too. And then what do you fall back on if you have not structured what you're going to do in your second season? Because, see, I call this my second season, not my retirement season. This is my second season. What am I going to do with my second season? And have I tried on that second season before I actually got it?
And here's the thing too. Understanding that you have to set up the same discipline and structure for yourself that you had at a job.
Absolutely.
Good morning, Lamarla. That consistency, that regimen. There's a certain time every day that you're gonna see me online. Because if I could be consistent for them, even though I'm free, if I could be consistent for them, why can't I be consistent for me?
Mm-hmm.
Right? If I could almost run folks over on the freeway to get to a job, y'all know what y'all be doing on them freeways when y'all be late. I be seeing y'all mowing the old folks over that's out trying to get their prescription in the morning. You just be running them down, speeding through the children kid zones, about to knock the stop sign off the bus. All that because you're running late. But you're so apathetic when it comes to your own next level. So sometimes you need that added accountability.
Demarshall trip.
BB. Morris. Sometimes you need the added accountability of a coaching system or a coaching program to keep you on track. Coaching programs to me are like your training wheels. And nobody should go straight from a tricycle, which is a what?
A three-wheeler.
I don't even think, girl. I think they going straight from a big wheel to a bike.
Oh wow! Hopefully not. Hopefully, if it's a lady, not with that bar in the middle.
Maybe. But sometimes we think because, oh, I have this big wheel over here and I'm making a few dollars. We don't know how to scale that revenue. We don't know how to um, take that revenue to the next level. We don't know how to automate that revenue. There's still so many things. I talked to a lady the other day, and for privacy's sake, I'm not going to tell you what she did, but let's just say she was a doer, meaning in order for her to make money in her business, she had to do something. And so I said, well, ma'am, what happens when you can't do? We're all human. So there may come a day where I can't run an errand or I can't fulfill this order for this client. I may be sick. I may be caring for somebody in my family that's sick, whatever the case may be. Right? There comes a time when all of us can't do.
Absolutely.
So I said, so where will your money come from when you can't no longer do? And she couldn't answer that. That's a red flag. See, the difference between a job and being an entrepreneur is that at a job, when you know can no longer do, they got short-term disability, they got long-term disability, they got retirement accounts.
They do everything to keep you stuck, keep you there. Um, but get if you want to leave your job, get excited because it's like starting over again, starting anew. Because when you went to your job, you didn't just jump in there and go to 100% productivity. It didn't work like that. You had to be trained. You had to make some errors. You had to learn some things. You had to study some new systems and learn how to work well with those. And it's the same thing in your business.
Except in this particular case,
it's on you.
You're not gonna have nobody telling you, Miss Show, you ain't clocked in enough. You're not gonna know till that check hit the bank. And you'd be like, where my money? Girl, you ain't been clocked in. I mean, as an entrepreneur, your revenue is in direct correlation with the number of hours you work, point blank, period.
Absolutely.
No,
and you're not always gonna be on point. It's just it's just a fact of the matter.
Which is why you have to have some backup plans for your money, because everybody gets tired, everybody gets weary, everybody has seasons where they just don't feel like doing it.
Absolutely. Everybody gets complacent. Everybody, like you said, everybody gets tired.
Everybody.
And then when you were working for that employer, if you notice, sometimes they got tired too. But when they got tired, they had you to fall back on, and they could go on out the door and rest.
Absolutely.
So that brings around the importance of building a team in your business. You know.
Absolutely. Sarah said, 21 years in business, God has blessed me to scale, pivot, and expand with the ever-changing times and seasons. And Sarah, that is a blessing, because it's not something you're just going to automatically know. If you know how to make this level of money, where's your backup plan? Where's your successor plan? Where's your plan to automate your business? Can your business run without you?
And you know her key word there, Sarah? The key word I see there is not scale, it's not expand, it's pivot. Because you can't stay in a straight line all the time, because seasons and times do change. And if anybody doesn't know that, wake up and pay attention to what's going on now. This is a season here where sometimes you got to pivot every day.
And that's another key case for coaching guys. Listen to me. As humans, we tend to be proponents against change. We hate change, y'all.
Absolutely.
If you ever read Who Moved My Cheese by, I think it's by Ken Blanchard, it was a mouse, two mice actually. And every day they would show up to eat and their cheese would be in the same place. Well, one day they showed up and the cheese was no longer there. They showed up the next day, the cheese was no longer there. They showed up the next day. The cheese was no. So one mouse got his tennis shoes on. He said, "You know what? I'm not about to keep coming here every day and it not be no cheese. So I'm gonna go out and I'm about to find where they've placed this cheese." The other mice, he ended up starving because he kept coming back to that same place. It is the same thing with dinosaurs because they could not quickly adapt. They became extinct. We can go down the line of big businesses, much less our little businesses, of big businesses like Kodak, who once owned the camera market, had the technology for digital cameras, didn't use it, and therefore became extinct. Sears and Roebuck's was shipping out more packages than Amazon before anybody knew what Amazon even was. Please tell me why Sears and Roebuck's didn't make it. They had every address of everybody in the United States of America because you wasn't nothing if you didn't shop at Sears and Roebuck's. They had the infrastructure.
They did.
They had the item pictures. They had the item numbers. By right, Amazon shouldn't even exist.
That's true. You know, Coach, that is very true.
Oh, it's very true.
You know, and J.C. Penney's as well. They
very true. And Montgomery Ward
and Spiegel. You remember?
Amazon should not even exist. Spiegel was the high-end Sears, and Sears and Roebuck's was for the low end. Blockbuster, it should not be no Redbox. It should not be no Netflix.
That's true.
Blockbuster should have went straight from videos when they saw them red boxes popping up. They should have put yellow boxes next to them. Who would you have chose? Because of brand awareness, you would have chose Blockbuster. When Netflix first stuck their neck in the game, we talking about pivoting, y'all. Don't get bored because this is instrumental to your business. Don't think we're not talking about money because we're talking about sustainability and longevity.
Yep. Absolutely.
When Blockbuster first started seeing, oh, people is ordering movies from home. People is not coming to the box anymore. Let's start Blockbuster streaming. The inability to change your business to meet the growing needs of your clients and customers will put you out of business. If you don't leverage your brand awareness, even while doing something different, you'll go out of business. So guys, if you need help, whether you're building your business new or whether you need to pivot in your business or whether you need a plan to be Vicky, I'm going to borrow that one. Or whether she said pivot to profit. Girl, I wrote that one down. Yeah, Blockbuster came along eventually and tried to put out some blue boxes. Girl, by that time, Redbox had already
taken over the market. Yep, taking over the market.
It means something to get your face, get your name, get your product out there. And the more noise you can make with it, the better. And people buy from familiar brands. They just do. They just do. So if you need help getting started, go to bit.ly/Black Girl Profits Call. Everybody that schedules a call with me is going to get free access to my first quarter profit planning session that's happening, I think the third weekend in January. You know, it's just a new time and space. And I can tell you another thing. If you're not paying to play in terms of advertising and growing your brand, and I don't mean boosting a product every now and then with your little $20 on Facebook. I mean a paid advertising campaign, a paid marketing campaign. You're going to struggle to keep up. Matter of fact, I need to do a social media trends 2022 and talk to you guys about what's coming. But how in the world are you going to be able to keep up without paid marketing? Those days of going live for free, them days about over with. But I told you guys that when I made the first seven figures. And then I told you again when I made the second seven figures. I said, y'all, come on, get on this live stream. Girl, it's free. Which is another thing you have to do if you want to quit your job. You're going to have to stop letting emotions hold you up. You can't be running around saying, I'm afraid to go live, because you're not afraid to do whatever your job tells you to do, even if you've never done it before. If your job says go in this room and train these 100 people, you could never been before people before, and you might get in there and jack it up to high heaven, but you're not going to tell your boss, oh no, I'm not going in there, I'm scared. You're not, because you know he's going to tell you to hit the bricks.
That's very true, Coach. That's very true. And I think sometimes when you're the entrepreneur and you are basically the face of the company, because think about your boss is was the face of his company. He just had you as the backup. You were part of the team. You were part of the team that made that engine run. But he or she was the face of that brand. And now you need to trick your mind. And sometimes that's what it comes down to. You have to trick your mind. As you said, make your mind, but you got to trick your
It's
mind.
them Jedi mind tricks.
Jedi mind tricks. You have to trick your mind into thinking, oh, okay. Well, he's put my employer is pushing me out here today to be the face of the brand. I'm testing out today. Look at it like that when you hit the go live button. I'm testing this out. And if I don't do it, I ain't gonna eat.
D. Moore said, be asking folks to pray for you because you got to go do this training. Y'all know how we do when the boss put us, girl, I got to call these people. Girl, pray for me, but you go on and do it. At some point, we've got to stop being willing to give everybody else so much more than we're willing to give ourselves. You know, I used to compare my job to the Israelites. I did, even while I was there. And I said, we make miracles out of hay and bricks every day. And it even got so bad at one point, they didn't even give us the materials for the brick
Yeah.
and the mud. We had to go get the dirt and the water, and we had to go get the mud and the clay, and we had to make our own brick. That's what they did with the Israelites. You better read your book.
Right.
Because when Moses started coming with them plagues, he started punishing them Israelites. Mm-hmm. And at first he was giving them the brick and the mortar to build with. And then when Moses kept coming, he said, I'm going to take your brick and mortar. Now you got to make your own bricks. Now you got to create your own mortar. I compared my job to that because I worked that hard. Anybody here worked hard at their job? Go ahead and say me.
Me.
I'm just curious. Because like, we go to them jobs and we work like employee of the month. We go to them jobs and we work like OJ running through the airport.
We go to them jobs like the business is ours.
We go to them jobs and we work like we own the business. We stand at McDonald's and only give out one or two ketchups, like that ketchup is coming out of our budget. We give out one or two straws, like that bottom line is impact them straws, impact our bottom line. We serve these people. We serve them like we gonna get $1 million from their business.
Absolutely. But turn that around. Why can't you serve you? And it's because now, mind you, they didn't hire you on that job because you were a slacker, you were a loser, you were lazy. They didn't hire you because of that. They hired you because they could see the greatness in you that you could not see in yourself. They hired you because they knew your talents and your gifts. But they also knew if they kept you there long enough, you would only think that you could work those talents and gifts, share those talents and gifts in their business. So now you got to pull those back, realize that you have them, and work
And
them
put
for
them to
yourself.
work for yourself.
And put them to work for
And
yourself.
D is absolutely right. What kind of bereavement is 3 days, 5 days? D said she was back at work 2 weeks after losing her husband.
Mm.
Work with the baby in intensive care. These jobs don't care. We care for these jobs way more than they care for us. And we say things like, I'm going to stay.
I love my job. You heard that one before? Because I used to say it to you. I love my job. I love what I did. I can take what I did and do it for me. Now, I love the people I work with because, hell, I only work with 2 other people. I had an ideal situation, but that does not mean that you don't want something for yourself.
Let's run that down again. Rose said, see, we say things like, oh, well, I like my job or I love my job. First of all, let me tell you what that's called. That's called,
Um, um,
give me the name.
it's when you
Fall
fall
in
in
love
love
with
with your
your captor.
captor. That's when you fall
What's
in
that
love with
called?
your captor. Something syndrome. Hold on, I'm gonna have to look it up. It's something syndrome.
Stockholm.
Yeah, when you fall in love with your kidnapper.
It's called Stockholm Syndrome. Stockholm Syndrome is where you fall in love with the person that's holding you captive.
That's right.
And you do that as a mental defense mechanism against going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Because you know you can't get free. You know you can't get lost. You know you can't just do what you want to do. So your mind, in order for it not to break, it bends.
Absolutely. It
And
adapts.
the bend is
Adjust.
that I love it here.
Mm-hmm.
That's the bend. What the truth is that while you may not like the captivity at all, you may like some of your coworkers, you may even not mind what you do.
Mm-hmm.
The bottom line is that, number one, you don't owe it to anybody to show a better job. That's the bottom line. Oh, thank you, Barbara. I'm here. Yeah, Dee said you like customer service week and the potlucks. You may like the fellowship, but you don't like working for somebody else.
Right. Or you may like the perks of your job. I had excellent perks. But what I looked at my perks as me trying on, that's a way for me to test out, to try on what it is I really liked when I did get free.
I heard this story and I didn't hear it until. And guys, good morning. Let us know where you're coming in from in the comments. I'm happy to have this conversation with you guys because you can create your own perks with enough money. Hello.
Absolutely. That's why I said use it
I
as a
tell you
test.
what, that free lunch at the job ain't nothing like this free lunch I eat every day out of my refrigerator. Hello.
Absolutely.
It's not. They're at your door. Yeah, I'm getting a notification, but I saw you look.
Yeah, because I'm thinking, is somebody tapping on my door
Yeah, they're at your door.
in the morning?
It's Coach.
Hold, please.
Good morning from Atlanta. But here's the thing. When you understand that whatever it is that you love doing at your job, you can come out here and do it in the world. Sarah Michelle and Latanya, I sure hate I missed y'all. We were just in Atlanta. So take whatever that is that you love to do and figure out how to do it in the world and create your own perks. I don't consider free Chick-fil-A a perk anyway.
Well, I'm gonna tell y'all what. Y'all need to look into some of these perks of having a coach and having a wonderful, excellent coach. Cause them folks that just knocked on my door, they left me something from my coach. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't even think it was an hour ago that my coach ordered
An
it.
hour. It's been 31 minutes.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
I got the best coach in the world.
If you're a business owner, you need a community. You need a coach. I prescribe to coaching. And I don't care how much money. Matter of fact, I got to get out here and go to some coaching classes this morning. I don't care how much money I make. I will always have a coach because that's always my next level. That's always what rounds me out. That's what takes me from 6 figures to 7 figures, and then from 7 figures to multiple 7 figures, and then 7 figures to 8 figures. You got to have somebody that's done it before you. So don't struggle and try to figure it out on your own. You just don't have to. Schedule some time for us to talk at bit.ly/Black Girl Profits Call. This year is going to be so amazing. But I want to tell a quick story, and I heard this story. Y'all know I'm old, right? Y'all know I would sit on here and tell old stories all day like an old woman. Hello.
Yeah, you will.
But I wanna tell you about the story, and I gotta find out where I read it so I can give the author credit. But there was a man, and he was very, very rich, and he had a zoo, and his zoo was full of the most unique animals in the world. There were no two alike. It was a one particular animal he didn't have any of. So he wanted to catch it. Only thing is, the animal was far away in Africa. And no matter who he talked to, they said, you cannot catch this animal. The animal is too fast. So the man got his safari together and went to Africa. And he said, I'm going to catch this animal. And then even the Africans is like, no. That animal is too fast. We've tried for years. You can't catch him. He said, it's okay. Get me some feed. So he went out to this field and he just put feed out in the middle of the field and walked away. That night, the animals came and they ate. The next day, he went, he put more feed out there. They came and ate. The next day, he put more feed. But this day, he nailed one single solitary board in the ground. From then on, they came and ate, and he would nail one board in the ground until he had a line of boards. Then they would come and eat, and he'd nail one board in the ground on the other side. Now he has 2 lines of boards. They come and eat, he nail a board at the top. Until now, he has a pen and they can only get in one way.
Oh, wow.
They keep coming to eat, and then he starts adding pens on this side. Until the last day, they had to squeeze to get in and get the food. Not only had he captured one of the animals, he'd captured all of the animals. And when somebody asked him, how did you do that? He said, these animals are just like people. They exchange their freedom for food and shelter.
Wow.
We have exchanged our freedom for the bare damn minimum. That house you live in is still owned by the bank. That car you drive is still owned by the bank. Them credit cards you use that you never pay off. You are the most unique animal in the world, but these rich folks have trapped you with the promise of food and shelter. Do you know what he did? He had so many of the animals, he was able to select the best of the best. Guess what he did with the rest? He let them go. That's what these jobs do.
And coach, that's exact. It's funny you telling this story, because when we were talking earlier, I was thinking about, the perks on the job. When your employer sees you getting restless, get restless enough, what do? They give you
They'll
a
give you an
raise.
increase.
They give you a
That
little
means they could have been
raise
paying you more to begin with.
or they may give you some extra leave time.
That means they could have gave you more to begin with.
Absolutely. So what I was thinking goes directly to what you were saying, to the story you're telling. And that is why there's been a great resignation, because
that's why people sick.
They're figuring it out.
People are figuring it out. Hey, Maria. People are figuring it out that I can do bad by myself.
Absolutely.
I don't need no help to starve to death. If you're just willing to make some sacrifices, if you're just willing to sacrifice, you can't have it all. They've got us so trapped. Why do you think they want you out here buying all this stuff for Christmas? Buying all this stuff for Valentine's Day? They even got you selling, buying $1 million worth of crap for Halloween. This retail engine and this workplace engine are directly connected. I'm telling you right now, you don't need all that stuff to be happy.
No, you don't. And that's another thing that the pandemic taught you. That's another thing that the pandemic has taught people. It has shown people is you don't need all of these extra things to make you happy, to make your life run. You don't need a closet full of clothes. You don't need a closet full of shoes.
You don't need to be at a happy hour every day. The pandemic showed people where their money was really going, y'all.
Absolutely.
And let me tell you one thing that the pandemic did, I think. The pandemic made people spend time with themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
The pandemic slowed people down just enough to get a glimpse of their real life and to make people say, I don't want to live like this till I'm 60 or 70.
That was why I retired early.
Good morning, Susan. I don't want to be here until the end of time.
Because I saw something D. Morris posted earlier. She had said that they were going to roll her out of her job. She was going to be there until she died. They was going to roll her out in her desk chair. And D said, nope, not going to do it. Not going to do
it. That's a shift in mindset.
Absolutely.
There once was a time where if you'd have asked me what was I going to do, I would have said, I'm going to work at Chase forever.
I said the same thing.
I would have said that. But then I woke up and I realized that the same millions that I was making for them, we can make for ourselves.
And sometimes it just takes the change, like you say, in mindset and consciousness.
And
Because by you telling the story that you just told, and to look at it from that point of view, makes your consciousness say, oh my God, they had me trapped. It's another Jedi mind trip. They had me
absolutely.
trapped and I didn't even realize it.
Yeah.
And sometimes you get glimpses of it when you get mad for something they've done to you on your
But
job
then
or
it
you
fades
go back.
away.
And yeah,
Let me
because
tell
you
you,
get
once a
unmad.
year,
You get
I used to
unmad.
get mad at my job, redo my resume. Girl, but by the time I had to get back out there, I done simmered down. They done came and apologized, gave me a few more coins.
And you talked yourself out of it, like, well, looking for a job is a job. Da da da. So I just as well stay where I'm at. You know, all those Jedi mind tricks. All those Jedi mind tricks. But now folks are seeing these tricks for what they are. They are seeing them for what they are, and they're willing to take the risk. Because, see, it's a change in mindset, a change in your consciousness, but it's all a risk. Well, it was a risk
But
going to
on
work every day.
yourself.
Absolutely. It
And
bet
if
on
I'll
you.
take the risk at a job, I asked somebody the other day, Rose, I said, so what would you do if your job fired you? She said by the next day, I would be out looking for another job, if not that same day, if they told me for noon. I said, okay, so why aren't you out looking for clients with that
Mhm.
same fever pitch, with that same ferociousness, with that same tenacity?
Because they've taught us not to bet on us. When you stay in a system, in a structure, you get used to it, and they make you feel like you're the queen of the world there for the most part. And then when they want to put you back in your place, they tap you on your knee with the little thing, make sure your knee's still working, but you come on back into the fold. But now what you have to do is look at, because like I said, they didn't hire you because you were a loser. They hired you because they saw the talent that you have.
Exactly.
They see what you have. They see who you are. And they brainwash you enough for you not to see it. And now
They're
it's time
cashing
to us.
in.
That's
They are
right.
cashing in
That's right.
on your next level.
Absolutely. And now you have to turn that around and play that Jedi mind trick on your own mindset, on your own consciousness. So yeah.
It's deep, y'all. It's deep, but I tell you, it's a journey that's worth every dollar. It is a journey that's worth every minute. It is a journey that creates legacy.
That's right. That's right. That's part of
And
your
that's
legacy.
that's true. Sarah Michelle said Fannie Mae thought I was crazy when I quit in 2010. I gave 2 weeks notice that I've never looked back. It takes faith and focus to build. It's
Mm.
not easy nor comfortable, but it is worth it. My passion needed my full attention. And I'm going to add to that, Michelle. When I left back in 2000 and when I left Chase back in 2015,
Mm.
6 years, I was already making almost $250,000 a year when I left in my business. Was staying because I was just that afraid of doing what everybody else said don't do. Don't leave your position. You are vice president at a Fortune 10 firm. What's wrong with you? Nobody looked at the money because for some reason they thought that $250,000 I made on my own was pennies. They were so concerned about the six figures I made from Chase
And the title.
and the title. And so I can honestly tell you that if I were to try to leave my job today, it would be different. Number one, when I left, the competition was not as thick as it is.
Mm.
I was out here in them internet streets damn near by myself. Number two, the world was just opening up. I've had one post on Facebook that have got 2,000 and 3,000 likes. Tell me what you can post on Facebook nowadays and get 2 to 3,000. You can't even get that on a wedding post. You can't even get that on a death notice. You can't even get that on an engagement post. Most you're gonna get is about 1,000 likes. Social media was so organic
Mm-hmm. And
that
they
I didn't even
even
have to really
they
pay
had
to play.
right, and even they had mastered the algorithms at that
They
time.
hadn't. Um, Technology was expensive, but you didn't have all the foolery now. People making you think you have to have a funnel. People making you think you have to have this and you have to have that.
You know,
And none of that saves you from marketing. None of that saves you from opening your mouth and finding a client. It just doesn't. It propels what you're gonna do, but it doesn't save you from the action. Things are just so different now that to start from scratch with no knowledge, and this is the truth, and that's why I created Black Girl Profits. The average African American owned business owned by a woman makes about $24,000 a year. That's job money. Why? Because they don't know how to create multiple streams of income. Because they don't have a team. Because and we can come back and do a whole broadcast
about that.
why you're not making money. And that all that is just start somewhere. Get some help where you are. Schedule a call, bit.ly/Black Girl Profits call. Get some help. Start somewhere. Get a blueprint. Get a strategy. You know, people think they can figure it out by themselves. The truth is, you don't know what you don't know. And there are only two teachers, your experience and somebody else's. That's it. You either gonna fall and bust your butt, or you gonna let me tell you a story about the time I fell and bust my butt. And that's the only way. That's it. So you don't have to struggle. Just get some help.
That's right.
Sarah Michelle said, yep, I started business in 2001. You must make time for your business, even while you're working for, girl, you preaching to the choir. I'm not going to slave for someone else and not make the intentional effort to build my legacy, which is encased in purpose. I work for Fannie Mae and I build fashion impact by handbags you like. With all of the so-called free time that I had, I worked for Fannie Mae. Yep, I built my business brick by brick, blood, sweat, and tears. App, listen, y'all. I tell you, it's called clocked in. How much time are you clocking in for yourself? And the only time that matters is the time you touching a client. The only time that matters is the time you're making money. Some of y'all think, oh, well, I'm gonna work on this website. I'm clocked in. No, you're not.
We learned a powerful lesson about being clocked in and clocked out.
No, you're not. Simon Michelle said, you matter, say yes to you. The truth of the matter is you're all that matters. That job doesn't matter. That job will fade away. Time will come. You won't even remember hardly what you did at that job.
Just
But
think,
legacy
last
is
forever.
is and your kids see you.
They do see you. And they mimic what you do. That's why we have so many of them working at the same place that their parents worked or working similarly to their parents because they do see you and they mimic what you do because if it's good enough for mama and daddy, it has to be good enough for me because you see what they struggle and do and what they try to provide for you. So it's time to break the mimic the do as I
Yeah.
do cycle. I want
Well,
to say,
but they did what they had. See, I want to come back and talk about this too. the ultimate freedom, because they didn't have the freedom to do what we're doing. Everything I do because I couldn't. I do because my mother couldn't. I do because my great grandmother couldn't. My great great grandmother couldn't.
Yep.
They did what they had to do. They slaved in them fields. They cooked and cleaned for people.
Mm-hmm.
They had kids. They did everything they were allowed to do. All of the subservient tasks that one would look at and say less than, but my grandmother did them so regally. My grandmother did them so royally.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
My grandmother made it look good. You hear me? But that's
Absolutely.
all she could do. We got action at millions and won't take it. We got action at being on Forbes
But it's a change in mindset.
and won't take it. So we got a lot of work to do. Sarah Michelle said, girl, you're gonna have to get on here and let me interview you. She said, you cannot pass down a job. Hello? My children can inherit the businesses that I built.
Mm-hmm.
I am the answer and manifestation to my ancestors' prayers. Are you?
Absolutely.
My. Mm-mm. I'm just
Girl,
giving
you
y'all a
talking
warning
smart.
that anything you say on this show becomes the express.
No. Okay. Yeah. That's right. Go ahead, Coach.
Sarah
Finish that.
Michelle, I'm just giving you a warning.
Go ahead, Coach. Put that disclaimer out there because I got that too. I got that too.
Anything you say on this show becomes the property
Of the folks on the stage.
right. D. Morris said legal disclaimer. We
fit
finna
this.
steal what you said.
Absolutely. We not stealing, we borrowing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Sarah said, I didn't hear that disclaimer beforehand. You're right, Sarah. You're right. But guys, if you're ready to get your quit plan in order, go to bit.ly/Black Girl Profits Call. Get started today. Tomorrow's not promised. I see so many people that shoulda, woulda, coulda. Yeah, Maria, she's using a green screen.
Yes, I
I
have a
see
green.
so many people that shoulda, woulda, coulda, but you don't have to. You can't.
I'll have a class coming out about that too, but we ain't talking about that right now.
Okay, guys. We love you, and we will see you later today. Happy holidays. Schedule your call. That way you can get access to yeah, I told you, Sarah Michelle, I'm serious. I need to have you on. Let me interview you on my new show. But send me a message in a DM. But guys, we'll be back later today. But schedule your call in the meantime so you can get free access to the profit planner session that is coming up. We love you, and we will see you later today.
Bye, everybody.